Hello everyone, this is Roger Rosado. I'm part of the spatial development team, and today we're going to discuss about how to configure map tips on the Map Manager. This is a part 4 series, so let's continue on. It should be relatively simple and quick. One of the prerequisites here is that hopefully you went through at least part 1 on your Tech Go. And then you should have knowledge on the basic maximal asset management and basic spatial configuration. Here's some helpful links I gave you so you have a chance to peruse through them. What we're going to be discussing today is basically configuration map tips, and these are the links, 2 links that's important. The rest you already seen before on previous sessions. So again, today we're just going to do a live demo configuring map tips. Okay, Map Manager, we're going to select Map 1, and we're going to click on Map Tips. Now, there's a few object names out of the box. The ones that really belong to spatial is asset, location, service address, service request, and work order. Scheduler product introduced AM crew and labor. We're going to discuss about one of them. Will be assets. Now, when you click on assets, you'll see that a section here will pop up about map tips. There's 3 tabs. There's a map tip, the primary, the summary, is that we'll talk about that a little later, is when there's multiple objects on the same point. It'll give you a summary of what all the objects are. And mouse over is when you go over your linked feature and you put your mouse over it, it'll pop up and tell you information. So the map tips. Well, let's go start with the mouse over. Once you put the when you click mouse over and you go and you'll see this asset num. What this is means it's the actual asset num value, the attribute with the value in it. And how this is retrieved is through this little graphic here. It's the select field. And what it does, it'll return you all the fields associated with assets. So if you select any of these, it'll place it onto the document here. For example, if I like calnum, if I click on that, see $calnum is there. So what that does, it returns the actual value of it. So let's take that out. So to show you a little more clearly, because they seem pretty much the same throughout, I'm going to put something here like this is mouse over. Okay, so this way you get to see a little clearer. And then the map tips. Now, we already explained the first 2 that basically you get is the actual field, and what returns is the actual values. Now, if I come in here and I can add like asset number like this, what it'll do is that it'll print out the asset num label and then put asset num next to it. This way it's easier to decipher, but sometimes it might be too much to put on the screen. But just for our simplest explanation and demonstration, we'll just do that, and we'll put this is map tips. And what we'll do is we'll highlight it, we'll bold it, italic it, and underline it. One of the things too, they give you a lot of choices here with font size and format and all that stuff, but you still must conform to what the browsers can actually provide you with. Just a word of advice there. Just because you can see do everything here doesn't mean it'll actually show up. Okay, summary. Again, I've described that. It's when there's multiple objects on one point. You want to see what's all the objects behind the scene. Signature option. Again, you determine whether you want this object with the map tips showing up at a certain times. So again, there's another signature option there. And then menu tips. Menu items. So what this is that it actually, on the map, it will actually pop up the actual Maximo dialogues out. And let me show you this all so far that I've done so far on the map so you get a better understanding what's going on. So let me save this. Let's go to assets. And I created one last time. Asset test. You can see there's already a feature class associated with this asset. And I use the serial number for my linking. So I will sync to for feature object 432 hydrant object ID 432. So click here. So it found it right there. That's it. So now when I go over it, the mouse over, see, let me put it appears the mouse over. That's what that does. Okay. Now when I click on it, these are the map tips. You see, this is map tips. So you did all the italic and underline here that I put in. And remember, I added asset number description. If I didn't add that in, it would just have the asset num value and the description values. Now, the other thing, the more information part, that's where the menu items come in. You'll see three. That's where the three that we saw before. So if we were to click in any of them, what it does, it brings a maximal dialog back for you to do things. Now let me go back, and that's basically it for map tips. But let's go back and look at it again. Map tips. That's it. All right, this specific italic here, what it does, it actually goes to your messaging and extracts out the actual label to be placed there. And since we developed that in-house, we had to make sure that it can support other languages. So it's because it's a default. So hopefully you guys know how to do that. See, for example, for address label here, if we were to go to database configuration, go to messages, and then filter out map tips as such, and then we paste address label. That's it, you see. So what returns back is address. So let's go back. I'm sure you guys already knew all this already. Let's go back to map manager, map tips. That's it. So now you know where this part of what this label means here. Map tips. So it's in the messaging group, and it's used for, you can add your own if you like in there, but it basically was used for for default information for all products for the different languages. Okay, and let me go over this one too, like service address, street address. Basically what happened was they went here and they kind of went, found service address here, like here, and it's most likely a relationship. You go down, and then you can select whatever you want, reference point. And if you click, you see it's very similar. In that service, so this person went here, but this one has a location service and so forth. You should know how to do that. Okay, okay. So you saw how those are configured. Now, these menu items are defaulted out of the box. It takes quite a bit of work to get this done. You need, you can create a new menu, but you'll have to have some experience in the application designer, um, uh, application designer, I guess, link right here, application designer. Yes, why not? It's another, it's a way to design your UI. But also to know what to show you a little bit more about what it entails, you can also use a XML file, UI XML file, to create your dialog beans, and sometimes in assistance with application designer, just like here that I'm showing right now. This is a UI library.xml, and if we were to search for one of the like asset details that you saw, that's it. So it's a dialog box, and it has a Java bean associated, a maximal Java bean. So you might have to write some Java code in the background, and you got to know pretty much your tables and stuff to create a new menu item. It's just something that you should be aware of, the work that would entail. Okay, let's go back to Map Manager, and I think that is it for this series. Get one more time. Map this. Now, let's talk about a little bit more. Let's say, I think service address, huh? No more service requests. What I want to show you is in the menu items, if it ain't related to the actual object that you're referencing to, like service request, you'll have to put the data source relationship. And you know these are assets, so that's where the assets come in here. And of course, you can also create your own sync options for each one of these, what to appear and what to not, when to appear and when not to appear. And that is it. The summary part, I'll show this part in in when I discuss, I believe it's advanced settings. I'll show you that part in there. But just take my word for it. A menu will pop up and it'll show the summary of all the uh, objects that are associated to that point, where there could be multiple work orders and stuff. All right, I believe we are done. I think we're done with map tips. It's pretty quick and simple, at least to configure. So I hope you guys understood, and I'll see you again, part 5. Talk to you guys later.